What is up, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Kevin Jackowitz. This is the Kaged Review, and as you can see, my surroundings are a little bit different right now. That's because I am actually helping my girlfriend. We're at a pet sitting job. It's a stay-at-the-house pet sitting job. And we're going to be here for the next 20-something days, so I have chosen this gentleman's study to start my reviews and reactions. He knows and he's cool with it, so thankfully I'm allowed to do that while I'm here. So we had to do a moving thing. We kind of, had to get stuff out of the house, and I mean, it's literally almost like moving. Anyway, let me get into this. This is the non-spoiler review for Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. Now, Jurassic Park World, been one of my favorite franchises since I was a little kid, man. I was into dinosaurs, and I could name pretty much every dinosaur at one point in my life. And I was always fascinated with it. I used to love going to the museums and seeing the big skeletons, and it's very awe-inspiring sometimes. So I was a major fan of the first Jurassic Park. I think it absolutely had a magic that very few movies do. And I'll be honest, I think that since that first movie, that magic has been lost more and more. Jurassic World was a nice rekindling of the series, but it still did not capture that same magic. And so I didn't expect this movie to either. And I'll be honest, anytime I go to a Jurassic Park, Jurassic World movie, I'm going to like it. Like I said, there's just something about, the aspect of dinosaurs roaming the planet again. It's a very cool idea. But it does leave something to be desired in a lot of ways, and I think the movies nowadays, the acting has just gone downhill. The writing has gone downhill. And one of my biggest problems with this movie right off the bat is, can we just get a little bit of character development, please? Everything in this movie was so fucking cliche. It was unnerving at times, to be very honest. You have the powerful, well-financed company who is, out to use this as a weapon. We don't know why, but they are. You have the cliched, old, gruff military guy who just turns out to be an asshole. You have the cliched romance where one's ultra conservative and one's really hip and fun. I mean, everything is just so cliched here. So, try to get past that. Bryce Dallas Howard, who I actually just learned today was Ron Howard's daughter. I didn't know that. She plays Claire Dearing, and then you have Chris Pratt, who plays Owen Grady. And I'll say that they did very good for their parts. I like both of them on screen. I think they have a great chemistry together. And I think that chemistry really showed through in some of the scenes that they had together. But as far as substance, it really was not there. Like I said, it was a very cliched relationship tale that you see in these kinds of movies, and it's nothing that hasn't been done 100,000 times before. Jeff Goldblum, is very cool to see him come back as Ian Malcolm, and with Goldblum, it was very short. I mean, you don't get much for Goldblum in this movie. You get 80% of Goldblum in the trailer that you see before the movie. So, don't expect a lot from Goldblum, but I mean, come on, it was Jeff Goldblum, and him in the Jurassic Park series was absolutely phenomenal. And literally everybody past those three main characters, except for maybe Isabella Sermon, who plays Maisie Lockwood, is just filler. Honestly, not very good character creation at all. Some of these characters, you don't know why they're in the movie at all. There's really no point to them whatsoever. It just doesn't make sense. So, let's get to the dinosaurs, because that's what the movie's all about. One thing I will say I really liked about this movie is, yes, they did use some CGI. That's going to be expected. That's just today's cinema market. They did use a lot of practical effects, though, and I really appreciated that. There were several scenes where you had to get up close and personal with the dinosaurs, and if you were going to do it with CGI, it was not going to turn out right. And thankfully, they were smart enough to actually create these creatures. One was like an operation scene, so it was very cool. Very, very cool. I really appreciate practical effects over CGI any day. It's just always going to look better. And so they did a good job. They did a good job making the dinosaurs look real with the practical effects. Now, like I said, there were parts where they used CGI and you can kind of tell the difference. But overall, very good job with the dinosaurs. The first act in this movie was my biggest problem, I think. And I can't really get into it too much without getting into spoilers, like big spoilers. But there's something about a movie, you go to watch it and you go to suspend disbelief. You want to be able to believe that what you're seeing on screen is actually happening. And they missed the mark by a mile. And I'll give you a reference point. Everybody had a big problem with The Last Jedi, not just because of the terrible writing and acting, and what they did with much loved characters, but there was one scene in particular where they're in space and they're dropping bombs. Dropping bombs where gravity is supposed to pull bombs down. They're dropping bombs in space. It didn't make any sense. It was stupid. It was not well thought out. And this whole first act is like that for me. Like, there's just so much that happens that is nonsensical, and there's no way it would actually happen in real life. And you're just like, can you guys at least put a little bit of effort into trying to make this look real? And they did not. Now, I did like some of the story construction they did. In the middle, the second act, it definitely slowed down quite a bit. But in the third act, it really picked back up, and you have, very cool, it's a monster movie at this point. It's, dinosaurs chasing people around, eating people. But there was a lot of satisfying moments in that. This Indoraptor that they created, it's very, very cool, some of the scenes that they had with him. I was actually very impressed. So it's really a mixed bag, as you can tell. I mean, I really loved the movie, but there were so many problems with it at the same time. And one case in point, I was watching somebody's review of this earlier today, actually, and he was talking about how there's a scene, where you see the first dinosaur, and there's this big moment. And it's like literally a scene they did from Jurassic Park, the original movie, except that first scene in Jurassic Park carried so much weight, and it was like this big moment. And this moment in this movie, recreated, did not feel nearly as big. Not at all. And it really shows, how far down creatively the writing and the style and the directing has gone. So I would take away that this is a fun movie if you enjoy dinosaurs and you like seeing, the interaction with dinosaurs and humans on the big screen. It is very cool. It's a fun ride. There are a lot of moments, there's supposed to be like suspenseful moments. And I will say, even with the suspenseful moments, I never really felt like everybody was in danger. I mean, as far as the heroes, Claire and Owen, you never get a sense of dread for your main characters at all, ever. I don't think I ever did. And it's just the way movies are played out nowadays. They run into these very strict outlines for what they're doing in the movie, and it just it gets worn out after a while. You know, there's no real suspense. Like, they have to really throw you a curveball to grab your attention nowadays. I will say it's got to be harder to, you know, get people really shocked because, you know, there's desensitization because, you know, we've seen everything in movies already. I mean, they've already pushed the limits as far as you can go, basically. But also, we're used to seeing, you know, the good guy, he has a moment where it looks like he might not make it through one part, and of course, you know he's going to. So, I mean, we've just been so accustomed to these kinds of movies and these situations that they create that there's no real fear in it for the main protagonist anymore. There's just not. So, I mean, overall, I mean, if I'm grading this movie, it was a 6 out of 10. It was fun for me. I mean, it's fun to see the dinosaurs going around. The storyline was weak, I think. I think the character development was terrible. And you had a lot of characters that didn't need to be there. But the biggest problem for me, and the reason why it's so far down on the list, is that first act. And when I get into spoilers, I'll talk more about it and I'll explain why I feel like it was so poorly done. And, you know, because I'm sure people don't even think about it. They're in the movie theater and they're just watching this and it's a big spectacle. And it's like, oh. And the whole time I'm just like, this is so stupid. I mean, because, okay, we know it's a fantastical adventure, but there have been fantastical adventures created like this that still have plausible scenarios. And there's just nothing plausible about what happens here. But like I said, I'll get into that in the spoiler review, which I'm going to be doing here very soon. So ladies and gentlemen, 6 out of 10, that's where I'm staying with it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Where does this rank in the 5 Jurassic movies? Let me know what you think. And if you enjoyed this, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and share. My name is Kevin Jackwitz. Kaged Nation, out.